Good evening all. Hope you don't mind about the change of routine. Hopefully it should be still useful, and perhaps you can watch this video at your leisure whenever you want tomorrow. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because at the big picture, you know what's the situation. You know there's 36 bears versus the one bull. It's very, very skewed. It's very crazy. However, it is probably worth noting that the technical scores have dropped, and we actually saw, funnily enough, a higher VIX, which is unusual to see. Normally, that gets pressured and hammered down, but on Friday they couldn't sustain it, and it did actually end up positive on the day, which is quite interesting. But that should be the case if the indices are negative. All right, so the Russell 2000 did have an okay day, but the Nasdaq fell 1%, so it's a fairly heavy day there. So the VIX has been historically under pressure, and if they can't put it under pressure on on a close of the week, then it might tell us that something's up, and we can have a look perhaps at your indices, for example. So what I want to say is the real world application for the Risk Calc. Okay, so you're probably seeing this. What does it mean? Like, how can I use this information? Well, what we were interested in is when they heard they sell at the net level, and at the point where they sell at the net level, we go to negative. And we've been negative for the longest time now. It's been crazy. So let's show you what I mean by that. So we're interested in the red to green flip, okay? And we went from red to green here. Well, we went here, and also we went here. Now look at the price of DAX, and up we go, right? And that's how the real world application. So going back to my point, how can I use this data? Well, it's at the big picture level, right? So that's the point of entry, is when we flip and look at DAX, okay? And it would have been a crazy buying opportunity. We all had the heads up at that point, but it wasn't advertised to say buy. It stipulated that it was a buy here, but I didn't actually expressly say, hey everyone, we're now buy. I was kind of assuming that people would know, but maybe you don't understand how to use this data. And so that's the real world application there. So when we're interested in the red to green flip, it's actually a buy, and then you're like looking for confirmations over the last 24 hours, and you would have got many confirmations. So you would have held your bullish bias, you would have held your longs every time this went green. And to be fair, even if it went red, you would still be in profit, and then you would hold. Okay, so you would have made a crazy amount of money there. I obviously missed out, which is quite frustrating, but it is what it is. And so that's the real world application. And there's DAX when we went from red to green here, and that's the buy opportunity. Okay, and don't forget we got the Powell on Wednesday. We've had a higher inflation from the PPI and the CPI. The market shrugged it off, but I don't think Powell's going to be particularly happy. So he might send the dollar higher. He might be quite hawkish. And we're actually projecting a little bit of dollar strength this week, because I put out a Dixie idea, and Marco's confirmed it as well. But it's all about tomorrow's close, he was saying. So tomorrow's going to be really important. Now, the issue is with dollar longs is that we want to be risk off, but we can see how we're clearly risk on by the amount of bears there are in the market. So let me just show you something, okay? So there's one retail bull, and right, so this is one, okay? And I know this is maybe a bit childish, but then you'll just understand how crazy this is. We're not even halfway. Okay, and you get the idea, right? That's how mental the market sentiment is right now. And we didn't even get to 36 because I don't want to waste your time. But you can, hopefully that hits home how crazy skewed we are right now. So there might not be a pressing need for a stronger dollar if we're going to continue to rally on indices, and we probably should. But on the other hand, we've probably got a pretty annoyed Powell coming up on Wednesday. So it's going to be very tricky. Like how Marco says in the Discord, it's all about the close tomorrow. And we'll have probably a better idea about what's going to happen for Wednesday. I am anticipating potentially a stronger dollar going up to the FOMC, and then there could be a rug pull. But we don't know for sure, and it will depend on risk appetite. But hopefully that's clear, that image, how crazy skewed it is. There's only one guy buying versus the 36 bears, right? So that's today's bulletin video. Be careful and try and stay on the right side. Obviously, you know, now is a little bit late, but at that point it would have been awesome, you know, getting involved in there. So next time we do flip, I'll let you all know, and I'll say specifically, you know, we are now buy, guys, you know, look for longs. I was kind of assuming that everyone would understand how to use that data, but perhaps it wasn't clear. And so that's today's bulletin video. I'll be back, well, I'll be around tomorrow in Discord, but I'll be back properly doing the bulletin tomorrow, and then we'll see how the dollar has unfolded. And be sure to check out the Dixie video as well that I posted in Patreon. I wholeheartedly recommend fxsi.com and their indicators for MetaTrader 4 and 5. It's a 7-day free trial, so do have a look. There's no credit card required. You might be lacking in some sentiment awareness, analysis, and it does complement technical and fundamentals very well. Especially if you're very technical, you could be missing out on some sentiment, or if you're particularly fundamental, you could be missing out on some sentiment. This is like a sweet zone. It complements both, and it gives you a very strong bias about direction as well. So technicals are great for direction, fundamentals are great for direction, but the sentiment sits in between, okay? And so perhaps if you're missing out on some sentiment awareness, these are the best indicators in existence in the world for that. And then you can have a look at this. You've got a 7-day free trial, and you've got your order book, and you've got your indicators, including the ratios, which are amazing. Just look at my videos on my YouTube channel and you can see how powerful the ratios are. And you can have a look, just take your time. You've got 7 days to trial them, and if you don't like them, then that's fair enough. You don't have to renew, but we do have a code if you want to, and it's just the QDB code, and it gives you a 10% discount, and that's it. So have a look, see what you think. And like I said, it's a 7-day trial, so you don't have to renew, but I think you'll probably find you will renew afterwards, because the order book and the ratios and the stop loss clusters as well are amazing. The stop loss clusters are great because you know where to target. Okay, that's where you take profit, where people get stopped out. Okay, and that's it. So just a quick plug for the fxsi.com, and enjoy your day.